So you can't get a hold of ammo, but you've got money to spend. What do you do? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Will, and today I want to talk to you guys about what I think you should invest your money in during an ammo shortage. Obviously, ammo is very expensive, very difficult to get a hold of right now, and if you do find it, it's outrageously expensive. So maybe you don't need any more ammo. You've got enough to hold you over for right now. If that's the case, please don't go and just keep buying ammo at outrageous prices, because what that does is it continues the panic buy and it continues the ammo shortage. It actually extends it out and makes it worse. We saw the same thing happen back in 2013 with Fire Armageddon, where it took years, literal years, for 22 to be back on the shelves, and then even longer for it to be a decent price. Still not the price it was before 2013, but affordable. So if you don't need ammo, but you've still got some money and you want to invest it wisely in some other gear and other things to help you with your preparedness and your ability to be a good, responsible American and a good citizen and a good defender, I've got a few ideas of things you can spend your money on. So let's go ahead and start right out with number one. The first thing I think you should invest in, if you own a handgun, if you've recently bought a handgun, or if you've got several like I do sitting in a safe that don't really do anything but go to the range right now, is invest in some good holsters. And I mean really good holsters. And every good holster needs a good belt. This in particular is a Black Point holster. It's SIG branded, but it's made by Black Point. It's a custom Kydex holster specifically made for one gun, and that's the SIG P365. A good holster is absolutely necessary for concealed carry, or even open carry for that matter. You don't want some cheap, flimsy, universal nylon holster for carrying a handgun. It's not a smart idea. It's not going to be comfortable. You're not going to keep carrying the gun. It doesn't secure the gun well. It moves around on your belt. It shifts and it prints a lot. It's just, universal carry holsters are generally a terrible idea, and that's my personal experience and that of a lot of other people that I've talked to. So get a good holster made specifically for your gun. There's lots of great companies out there. There's so many companies out there making really good quality, custom-made Kydex holsters. Your options are almost limitless. You've got T-Rex Arms, Gunfighters Inc., Tier 1 Concealment, and a ton of others. There's such a long list, I can't go through all of them. OTG Hex is another one. I can't go through every list of every holster maker out there, but trust me, do a good Google search, do some studying on YouTube, watch some reviews, get an idea of what's good and what isn't, and get a good holster. But the reason belts are also included in number one is because without a good belt, your good holster is not going to be a good holster. It's not going to stay in place. It's not going to carry comfortably. It's going to print really bad. You need a good belt that is designed for specifically holding the weight of a gun. This happens to be a Core Essentials belt. This is actually Mrs. Country's belt. But if you want something more leathery or like with a leather look, this is a good option. There are also a lot of more traditional leather gun belts out there. I don't know a bunch of those companies off the top of my head because honestly I'm not such a big leather guy. I like nylon belts. Right now I'm actually wearing the Blue Alpha Gear EDC belt, and I really like that one a lot. But there's tons of other great options for belts out there. Again, do some research, watch some reviews on some different belts, and figure out what is going to work the best for you based on your style, your preference, what you carry, things like that. But absolutely, number one thing you should be investing in is good holsters and belts for your carry gun. Number two would be good lights. Either handgun weapon lights like this Streamlight TLR1 HL, or handheld lights. This is an older Surefire, and it's got a Theorem Switchback 2 on it. I've got a full review of that on my channel. Or I should say, long gun lights like this Cloud Defensive Rain, or a Streamlight, or a Surefire Mod Light. There's lots of good ones out there for all these applications, but at a minimum, my personal opinion, your carry gun, your home defense gun, your primary home defense long gun, or handgun for that matter, and your pocket all need good quality, bright lights. If you can't identify what you're aiming your gun at, you should not be pulling the trigger. And that's very, very true in any situation, much less in a self-defense situation. So having a light on your gun, having a light on your person, a handheld light to use to identify targets, to make sure that, you know, the monsters in the dark corners of the night are not there, they're going away. A little bit of a joke, but you get the idea. Having a light is super important. So again, make sure you do your research, find what you like the best, what works best for you, and invest in some lights since you can't buy ammo right now. Number 3, sighting systems. This is my primary home defense rifle, and I've got a Aimpoint Comp M4 on here. It's an older sight. I've had it forever, but it's still trucking, and it's a great sight. There's a lot of options out there, a lot of smaller, more compact options. You can go with a magnified optic, like a scope, a LPVO, a 1:6, 1:8, 1:10. You could get a red dot with a magnifier behind it. Whatever you prefer, whatever suits your gun the best. But again, optics are a little expensive, and I know personally I've put off buying optics a lot because of buying ammo and buying targets and going out to the range and things like that and spending money on other things. Well, now that at least some of that is harder to do, buying ammo specifically, and then therefore going to the range, it's a good time to reinvest that money in other places like optics. This is not a required thing for a defensive gun. You can absolutely run this AR with iron sights and it would work just fine, especially if you have a light to identify your target. But you definitely have a lot of advantages with an optic over iron sights, at least in my opinion. So I definitely recommend investing in optics if you haven't already started doing that. Number 4, and these are in no particular order of importance, guys. Honestly, it's going to be based on what you've already bought, what you are researching and trying to learn about before you spend your money on it, or what your particular situation is in terms of your household. But always good to have a safe. Now, I have a lot more guns than just 1 or 2, so I have a big safe, but I wasn't going to bring that all the way down here and put it in front of the camera because I don't want to kill myself and put a big hole through my wall. This little guy would be a really good option for your first-time handgun owner. This is a Gun Vault safe. This is just like their single handgun model. It does have a key override, so you can still use a key to get into it if you need to, but it's got these 4 buttons on top for your fingers, and you program your combo into that. Presto bango, it opens up. You can get to your gun. They have got a lot of different models of these. There's a lot of companies making safes like this. So again, do your research, figure out what works best for you, what you like the best, what has the feature set you like the best, but some sort of safe to keep your gun locked up in, especially if you have kids, is a really good idea. Even if you can't take your gun to work, so you leave it at home, or you don't have a concealed carry license and you choose to obey that law, which it's law, I get it. I personally choose to obey that law for my own reasons. You want to leave your gun at home? All right, cool. Well, now it's locked up in a safe. You can bolt these or cable lock these down to things so that they're pretty hard, not impossible, but pretty hard to steal because they are lightweight and portable. I actually have my suppressor in this one right now. But yeah, invest in a good safe because, again, safes can be very expensive and it's easy to put off that big expense in favor of ammo and training and other things. So yeah, since you can't buy ammo, safe's not a bad option. And number 5, the 5th thing I think you should be reinvesting your ammo budget in an ammo shortage. Medical gear and training. I recently did a video on my medical EDC, what I carry, how I carry it, that kind of thing. But the why I carry it is really, really important. If you're going to understand and look at the world through the lens of there are evil people out there, there is danger out there, there is the potential that I might need a gun to defend myself and other innocent people, then you understand there's a possibility that people can get shot, stabbed, and other traumatic injuries can occur. Having a little bit of training and skill and the right equipment on you can literally make the difference between that person living or dying, and that person could be you. So Get the gear, absolutely, sure. This stuff is still very much available. It's not ammo, it's not a gun, it's not even directly gun related. Get some medical gear, but if you're gonna get it, you're gonna carry it, get the training that goes with it. This isn't gonna do you or anybody else any good if you think the best place to put a tourniquet is on somebody's neck. That's pro tip, don't do that. That's not smart. That's called murder, not medical aid. But they do training classes all over the place on emergency first aid, like trauma medicine type stuff, TCCC. Lots of different organizations and individuals do training on this kind of stuff. They are certified to train on these kinds of things. I am not, so I'm not going to be doing a YouTube tutorial on any of this stuff. But, you know, you get the idea. Get the gear, get the training. It doesn't make any sense to spend money on a firearms training class when you can't get the ammo for the class. So why not spend that money on some medical training that could save somebody's life, even in a non-self-defense type situation? You know, car accidents, traumatic amputations of limbs, things like that. Having a little bit of medical gear can go a long way in situations like that. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's all I've got for this video today. I just wanted to, you know, give you guys an option, a little bit of an idea, I guess, of what would be good to spend money on in an ammo shortage, since it's really, really hard to get ammo. It's really frustrating and it sucks. I haven't been shooting in way too long, and I can tell my skills are starting to rust a little bit. So I know that frustration. I know that feeling. It's hard. It's not fun. But you can still do other things to increase your preparedness, your ability, and even some of your skills. So keep that in mind. Take it with a grain of salt. Maybe you've already done all of this stuff. Every one of your guns is completely set up and ready to go just like you want it, with lights and scopes and red dots and all the things, and this doesn't help you. Okay, well, that sucks. Maybe you should get into reloading, even though that's really hard to do now too. But especially for our newer gun owners that have just gotten into the gun world, first of all, welcome to the community. Thank you for being here. And I wanted at least to give you guys kind of a good roadmap of where to spend money, since ammo is so hard to get. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to post those down in the comments below, or if you've got a different top 5 of what you think the priority should be in an ammo shortage, post those down in the comments too. I'd love to read those, and you know, maybe your top 5 is better than mine, but I'd love to talk about it with you either way. If you guys also, if you have any questions, if you'd rather, you can email me or send me a DM on Instagram. I'll have that stuff linked in the description as well as here on the screen for you guys. I really appreciate y'all taking the time to watch. It means the world to me. Y'all take it easy. Roll Tide, and I'll see you later.